प्रोफेसर GS मूर्ति महोदयाः आन्ध्र विश्वविद्यालयात् आचार्याः कृपया आसनम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु इति सम्प्रार्थ्यन्ते। एवमेव अड्मिरल् रमणपुरी महोदयाः महान्तः इमे तत्र नवदेहलीतः समागताः सन्ति, तान् अपि सम्प्रार्थये भवन्तः कृपया आसनम् अलङ्कुर्वन्तु इति। Thank you, sir. As we know that, sir, actually our examinations are going on, and that's why our students are there in examination hall. Only very few students, research scholars are there, and so that's why less students are there. But our all the programs we are giving in our Facebook and that we can say that YouTube, Instagram, everywhere it is running. The live telecast is going on. So all our students after their examination they can enjoy your lecturers. So now only some very senior research scholars are there. Those who are in third year stage, they are with us now. So before starting the program, I request the Mr. Srinivas and Sriman Raghava for the Vedic prayer.
भावामिन्द्राग्नि आहुवद्या उभारादसहमादयद्यै उभादादारा विशाकुम्रयीनामुभावादस्य सातये हुवेवाम् अश्ववरुं विभूरिदावत्तरावान् विजामातुरुतवाघास्यालात् अथ सोमस्य प्रेति युवभ्यामिन्द्राग्नि स्तोमं जनयामि नव्यम् इन्द्राग्नीनमतिं पुरोधातपत्नीरुदूनुतम् साकमेकेन कर्मणा सुचिन्नस्तोमन्नवजातयज्ञेन्द्राग्निवृत्रहणाजुषेताम् उभारिवागुं सुरवाजो हवीमितावाजगुं सत्यौदधे ज्येष्ठा वयमुत्वापदस्पतेरजन्नवाजसातये धिये भूषण्यज्महि पदस्पदः परिपदिं वदस्या कामेन कृतो अभ्यानदर्कम् सर्वराजः सुहृदश्चन्द्रार्ग्रादियन्द्रियगुं सीतदादिप्रपूषा क्षेत्रस्य पतिना वयं हि तेनेव जयामसि गावस्वं भोषयित्वा सनो मृडादीदृशे क्षेत्रस्य पदे मधुमन्तमोर्मिन्धेन रुपयो अस्मासु दुक्ष्वा मधुश्च्युतं कृतवन्तभूतं वदस्य नस्पतयो मृडयन्तु अग्नेनय सुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देववैनानि विद्वान् योऽद्यस्मज्जुगुराणवेनो भूयिष्ठान् तेन वक्तिं विदेम अग्नेनय सुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देववैनानि विद्वान् योऽद्यस्मज्जुगुराणवेनो भूयिष्ठान् तेन वक्तिं विदेम तच्छयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये देवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्जन्ति गातुभेषजम् षण्णोऽस्तु द्युपदे षण्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ।
धन्यवादाः. They are our students, sir. They are reading PG and Shastri final year, BA final year and PG students. So we must thank our Veda scholars. Now I request Kumari Priyambada for the Laukik prayers.
गोविन्दमिह गोपिका नन्दकन्दं सानन्दमाधवम् गोविन्दमवलोकयामो मुकुन्दं गोविन्दमिह गोपिकानन्दकन्दं सानन्दमवलोकयामो मुकुन्दं गोविन्द गोपिका गणनयन कुमुदपूर्णेन्दुं गोपिका गणनयन कुमुदपूर्णेन्दुं गोपालकुलतिलकम् अखिलजनबन्धुं गोपालकुलतिलकम् अखिलजनबन्धुं गोविन्दमिह गोपिकानन्दकन्दं सानन्दमवलोकयामो मुकुन्दं गोविन्द गुरुकरुणया रचितं एतदतिललितं गुरुकरुणया रचितं एतदतिललितं नारायणानन्द तीर्थसम्मुदितं नारायणानन्द तीर्थसम्मुदितं गोविन्दमिह गोपिकानन्दकन्दं सानन्दमवलोकयामो मुकुन्दं गोविन्द गोविन्द गोविन्द
Thank you, Priyambada. Priyambada is one of the research scholar of our university, PhD first year, I think. Now, as we know that we are going to conduct this the Smriti Vyakhyana Mela of Professor V. Muralidhar Sharma. He was the former Vice Chancellor of our university, esteemed university. And for that, in memory of Professor V. Muralidhar Sharma, this is the program we are conducting. And we know that our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor G.S.R. Krishnamurthy, sir is a great scholar of Sahitya and a great scholar of other Shastras like Vyakarana, Nyaya and philosophy. And sir is the present Vice Chancellor, and he was the former Dean of Academic Affairs of our university and a great scholar of our country, Professor G.S.R. Krishnamurthy. You must clap the Vice Chancellor, sir, and who is the President of this session. And in front, to the left, to the President of this session, Mr. Admiral Rmण, and he is a great scholar, not only scholar, but he was an administrator in Indian Army, Indian Navy. And sir is at present he is the distinguished fellow, Vivekananda International Foundation, New Delhi. And a great scholar. He is a great scholar in Indian Shastras and also the contemporary problems, issues of the society. Sir knows very well, and what is the solution of the contemporary problems, that also he knows very well. That's why we welcome sir, and I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to give a flower to Mr. Admiral Mr. Rmण ji. Sir, please welcome sir. And I request sir to give a flower to Professor G.S. Murthy ji. Yes, thank you. Please. And as we know, Professor G.S. Murthy, he is a great scholar of chemistry, and he was the former director of School of Chemistry, Andhra University, and he is also a great scholar. And on Swami Vivekananda, he knows many things regarding Swami Vivekananda. So we welcome him. And in the that in that our this meeting on behalf of the meeting, we welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor G.S.R. Krishnamurthy. I request Professor Krishneshwar Jha to give a flower to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. सर को थोड़ा फूल देकर आप स्वागत कीजिए. Thank you, sir. So now we are going for the talk. Professor G.S. Murthy, who was the former director of School of Chemistry, Andhra University. I request Professor G.S. Murthy kindly give his talk, and his topic is Know Your Culture to Save Your Future. Know Your Culture to Save Your Future. Professor G.S. Murthy.
Honorable Vice Chancellors of the Sanskrit Central University, Professor Krishnamurthy Garu, and my friend Admiral Ramanpuri, Vice Admiral Ramanpuri. He is a great administrator and a good friend of ours. We are working in the same field for youth last 10 years. And we were introduced to each other under the discipleship of Sivananda Murthy ji, but Sadguru Sivananda Murthy. He is no more now. His base was Warangal and Visakhapatnam. And last 10 years we are working for youth. Youth for Nation is an organization formed only 2 years back. But the same work we are doing since last 12 years under the leadership of General Niranjan Singh Malik. He is the pioneer of this youth movement as far as we are concerned. I worked with him almost 10 years. He is no more, recently passed away. He is 84, 1 year older to me. And Admiral Puri and several people like Admiral Saab, about 70, 80 people all over India working with the same theme, to give some good inputs to youth. Nationalism, nationalistic mind. Nationalism and nation is irrespective of your political affiliation. Nation interest should be maintained. Political affiliations, their Bhinnaഭിപ്രായം is always welcome. Diversity is always there. But as far as nation is concerned, nation above all. That is our slogan. And Rashtrardham Yuva, if you see, Rashtrardham Yuva is our slogan also. And if you see the website, you will find all this information. Now coming to my subject. I have been in US for 4 months, from April to August. Visited 15 cities on the mission of Youth for Nation only. We met at least 500 people. In America, it's not easy to meet people only Saturday and Sunday. We have to fix everything. 500 people in group meetings. Apart from that, I met several people, only in these group meetings. And I'm very happy to inform you, we formed an American group, American Coordinators for Youth for Nation. We can't call a Youth for Nation there, because Youth for Sanatan Dharma, that is the name given there. Youth for Sanatan, not Dharma is not, Youth for Sanatan, America. About 50 coordinators are there, all over India. Whenever I visited people and different places, I talked to them. They agreed to coordinate and help. And apart from that, I met several leading American Indians. we formed 10 people who are very prominent in the American Indian society. For example, Nagula Nageswara in Maryland is the founder member of Maryland Temple. Maryland Temple is very famous. I think Maryland Venkateswara Temple. Even Barack Obama as president visited that temple. When I talked to him, Sir Mutiji, I will do anything for this youth. So 10 members we formed as a United States Advisory Committee. That is also formed. So work is going on. In India, about 22 states we formed groups, state groups. And in central group we are more than 100 working. And our Assam chapter, each state is having a chapter. Assam chapter is inaugurated by Jagdish Mukhi ji, the very learned man. Very learned man. He is actually Delhi Metro was his brainchild. He is a technical man. When he was Minister of Delhi, he initiated, and of course Sridharanji is the administrator and he did beautifully. But brainchild, he himself told me when I met Jagdish Mukhi, that is my brainchild, we started and he inaugurated. And in Haryana, Governor Dattatreya ji is from Andhra. I know him also personally. He inaugurated in Kurukshetra University. It's a beautiful meeting, 500 students and 100 faculty members. They all are convinced to do something for this. And recently in Maharashtra unit was inaugurated by the Governor of Maharashtra, Koshyari ji, in Somaya University. Somaya University, if you see the Google, is a very prestigious university. And it was a very good meeting. And we have a very good unit in Maharashtra unit. Every state unit we have. And coming March 4th, we have a very good unit in Orissa. And Bhubaneswar, one university that is inaugurated by the Central Minister Pradhan. Dharmendra Pradhan ji is coming. And Damodar Acharya ji is the president of that unit and he is advisor for that university also. He is the former director of IIT Kharagpur. Very learned man. And if I am happy to say you, several such professors joined that unit. They are all meeting. We are all meeting in 4th. He is inaugurating. And Ahmedabad, Gujarat Minister, Governor also we met, Devvrat ji. He is a very learned man. Very simple, very practical, very learned. And he is the director of Gurukul in Kurukshetra. There is a Gurukul. You have to see. I think our Puriji has seen it. India needs 100 such Gurukuls. We have seen the activities. Beautiful. And he was the director for 2030. He is all his creation. He is now the governor of. We met him. He said he will give a date to inaugurate. So going on, inauguration is okay, but continuously our mission is meeting the youth, as many youth as possible. Next 2 years, we have a target of 20 lakhs. 20 lakh students. Small, big meetings. It can be 500, it can be 1,000, it can be 100, doesn't matter. But it is on, the process is going on. Already we covered 2-3 lakhs last 6 months. But it will accelerate. We have to. So coming to my American visit, my theme was what I gave here, the same theme. Know your culture to make your future secure. It is not a great thing. It is not my brainchild. All the great Munis and Rishis have done this and showed us what to do. And showing us. Amara Guruji also did it. हमारा शिवानंद Guru ji also did it. Several people are simultaneously in India. There are hundreds of such people are working. We should not feel we are doing everything. No, we are also contributing something, whatever might we can. So coming to culture, my theme was Sanatan. Actually, I am a nuclear scientist. And I also felt, what is this Sanatan outdated? Why they want to go back and do the Pachantaka Pachadi, all depleted, deleted. Why should we? That is because that is not my fault. That is my fault of my education. The Britisher has brainwashed our generations together in such a way. Do you know there used to be at least 2-3 lakhs or even more Gurukulas when Macaulay was there? When visited? More than. And all Gurukulas were not only Veda and Shastra, all Shastras, all sciences are taught, including medicine. Everything is skilled. And they made us believe, not made us, our forefathers believe, all belonging to India, Bharat, is useless. Whatever white man says is the better. They came to conclusion. I mentioned I was in US for the first time I visited. I stayed it's a Saturday. I was tired and early khana leke. I about to sleep in a room. It's a weekend because all our friends, they are talking. They are all our educated people from. I heard him, his grandfather, Ray, you go and learn English. You don't learn Veda. If you learn Veda, you have to beg yourself. Because he himself is a Vedic Pandit. So Vedic learners, Vedic Pandits condition was brought to such a level by British and brought to such a level, brought to such a level of thinking in the even great scholars. Those who believe, they made believe. And I heard they are all working in Boeing and they are all great engineers and they are doing very well. But what is the result? They still believe whatever India says is not. But we have to, our responsibility is, I also was part of that thought for long. But we have to use the technology. We should not negate technology. Computer you can use in calculations of even Sanskrit and Khagola and astrology, everything. So wherever technology is there, you can use it. But we should not lose your ground and roots. That is the greatness of Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan, I give a definition, age old. You can't date when it is. Can you date the Sanatan Vedic Dharma when it is started? It's very difficult. There is one Narendra Kaul yesterday I mentioned it. He is a very great professor. He is a nuclear scientist. He is a professor of Chicago University. And he retired and then he resigned and then joined bank because there is a lot of bank money in the bank. He himself said, there is no money in the professorship and nuclear scientist. So I joined bank. He earned a quite lot, but very intelligent. And when I was discussing, can we date Rigveda? Yes, it is dated. It is 15,000 BC. At least first time I heard him saying 1500 BC, 15,000 BC, 15,000. That is 15,000 plus 2,000, 17,000 years old at least. If you go to Google, you won't get more than 1800 BC. Because they don't want to, this is what is called Western filter. My friend used to say, he is an intelligent man, intellectual. whatever you say, you should go through Western filter. If Westerns approve, that will be referred throughout the world. The same reference will go. And in that is, our intellectuals also were the part and pray for it. Okay, but Sanatan means age old. We can't, if you can determine the time, okay, but Sanatan. But everlasting. And it goes on. And ever new. That is important. Ever new is important. Why ever new? It accommodates any good thoughts, any good thought process, it accommodates. Any thing that is not natural, it eliminates. That is how we survived and sustained, and our people, rishis and munis, and rishis and munis we call it in modern science. I told them they are called social scientists. Real social scientists are also rishis and munis. They created, and such efforts were there. Hundreds and thousands were happening continuously. Last 15,000 years or even more. That is responsible for sustaining the Sanatana Dharma and handing over to us. At least we are talking of Veda, and Veda is still there, Vedic rituals are there, and Vedic sciences are there. Along with that, modern science is also there. Just now we met in Sampradaya school, one gentleman. He is a computer scientist. Computer Society of India, not Computer Society of India, what is the world. He is in charge for India for that. He was there in US and resigned and came back, and his wife is also highly educated. Both are completely devoting themselves to train young people in Sampradaya schools. Both of them highly qualified. Just now we met. So, he is as modern as anybody. Those who talk of science and IT, he can talk anything. And at the same time, he is convinced that Sanatan is the real word for our culture to sustain and hand it over to next generation. So, this kind of effort is required, and this kind of effort is expected from this generation. We are lucky. We are having our sustainable, or we are having our inheritance. We had inheritance of this great Sanatana Dharma. Along with the modern technological benefits, we should use this modern technology and the values of Sanatana Dharma and put it in the language they understand. In the West they understand. That is important. We have to talk to the West in the language they understand, but what we want to say, we have to say in the language they understand. I tell you one thing, in my recent American visit, some of our parents expressed, actually 2-3 generations are there. Some of my own children, they don't, when I talk of India, Bharat, they don't show any interest, sir. Why India is a poor country, it's a corrupt country, I am an American citizen, why should I work and why should I think of America? That's they are asking, sir, what I should tell. I told them, okay, you are an American citizen, you work for America, American prosperity, which is in your prosperity is also there is the American prosperity, don't worry. But realize one thing, you have one advantage where no national is having that advantage. You have the inheritance and great survival, a great heritage which is minimum 15,000 years old. You are the inheritance, you are the we are having that advantage. No, you cannot show any national all over world. Can be. I tell you, there are 45,000 great civilizations identified by UNESCO. If you go to Google, Mayan civilization, American, Latin civilization, Greek civilization, Egyptian civilization, or Confucius, Chaldean, several, including all these civilizations survived sometime or other for few thousands of years or few hundreds of years, survived, and none of them you can see now. If you go to Greek, you don't find any Greek civilization. If you go to Rome, you don't find any Roman civilization. If you go to Mexico, you don't find any Mayan civilization. Mayan civilization is one of the old civilizations. And similarly, this Red Indians or native Indians they call it, they are all natural worshippers. And that is all destroyed by this West, white man. None of them exist. But why our civilization, our heritage, our civilization, our culture is existing? You pose this question to your sons, they are all intelligent. They are all intelligent. If they take up to the roots and produce better results. We have to trigger their minds, that's all. You tell them, just this is the fact, is it or not? And how it is survived in spite of so many attacks and onslaughts. Then they will go and we should trigger their minds. I told them, some of them will pick up. If they pick up, one good thing in American, we have to learn as a researchers. If they take a point, they will go to the roots. Normally, they will go to the roots of it and produce something. In my lecture in England, I told, Forgotten History of India is one of the, how many of us know India except Mughal history? We don't know. Have you heard about Ahom Kingdom? Ahom Kingdom, Assam, was ruled for 600 years. No Mughal king could enter into Assam. No Mughal king. 600 years. Is highly civilized. And similarly, our Chola kingdom, 1,000 years it survived. It spread up to Cambodia, half of the India, and then up to Bengal, and then Vietnam, Singapore, Cambodia, and all the southeastern countries. And all this spread is by peaceful methods. No sword, no clash. They accepted the way of life, they accepted the culture, they invited it, and still they are keeping that. If you go to Cambodia or Vietnam, you will find Ramayana and Mahabharata even now. So, this we don't know, we are not taught properly. Actually, we are not taught, and even presently some effort is going on. If you know your history properly, a sense of pride of belonging to India is there. So, their effort is to make people not belonging to India. Their effort, they succeeded quite a bit. But now, so this is and Sanatan Dharma is, we call it Hindu Dharma. Hindu Dharma is not correct actually. But we have to accept it as it is, because whole of world accepted, identified as Hindu, and we are also accepted. The name was given to us only 2000 years back. Before 2000 years, Mahabharata time, is there any Hindu? Is there no culture? Is there no dharma? So, Sanatan is that's why I proposed this to Western students particularly. Sanatan is the right. Sanatan is the, we have to coin this into currency, this term, which was outdated, which was actually eliminated from our minds. Sanatan is everlasting, and ever new, all inclusive. And that's why it is sustaining, it is. So, this is my thought process. So, once again I tell you, you are all students of a great university. First you must feel proud. Don't think we are just like that, we are by chance we are here students. No. My Guruji, all great men used to say, to take birth in India is a fortune. That I realized only recently. Unless you are really qualified, you can't take birth in India. Do you know Max Muller? How many of you heard Max Muller name? Raise your hands. Max Muller did lot of work on Vedic research. You know? His letter written to government of, that is, Britain. It is there in the British Library. To get a huge grant of few millions of pounds, he wrote, I am translating Veda. For the future generation, whatever I write is Veda. They want to hijack whole Veda, and through him. And for that only he was given millions of pounds. He started that way. And he visited several places and visited Prayag, visited Kashi, met people and discussed. And he realized he is a minuscule. He is nothing before them. He realized it slowly. And at the fag end of something time, he wrote himself. See, this is the important statement. That's why I say we are fortunate. One should be, unless one is fortunate, you can't take birth in India, in Bharat, easily. That is correct. He himself wrote. He did several, he is much better than many of the Vedic Pandits, so-called Vedic Pandits, as far as Vedic knowledge is concerned. But at one stage, I also don't know, one of the IIT directors, he gave a lecture and we discussing. He wrote, it's black and white, it is there. If one wants to understand Veda in its true perspective, you should take birth in India, in Bharat. He wrote, because he was not an Indian soul, he was not a Bharat soul. He himself could not understand the Vedic heart of Veda. It's a confession of Max Muller. So, we are all already born in India because of our Purajanma Sukrita. No doubt in it. And all our great rishis say this. Vivekananda said, everybody said it. Everybody. But to realize that it is, for me, it's only a few years back, I was started thinking in this direction. For me, I am a nuclear scientist. I've traveled all over the world and giving lectures on my subject. But this is true. It's a boon to take birth in India, and it's a boon to be a student of Central University of Sanskrit. It's a boon. We have to utilize it to the better. We have to utilize to the best of our knowledge and learn as much as possible. Whatever maybe subject you take up, or maybe a small subject, whatever it be, take the best of it and give the best of it to the next generation. And in the language they understand, that is important. In the language they understand, we should be basically convinced about our, and whenever I gave in lecture, the same lecture in US, they can understand only certain things. So in the language, without losing the spirit and content of the speech, I used to discuss. They used to appreciate it. See, you have to use your time very carefully. Don't waste your time. Use your time to the utilization of the acquiring the knowledge as much as possible. Don't study for degree's sake. If you study, you will get automatically degree. Study is important. It's my experience also. If you study well, you will get always first class, first also. Study is important. Study with the applied mind. You do that. This is my message. I am 83. If something goes in your mind, whatever it be, I am happy. If something goes, let God help you and God bless you all. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Sir is a nuclear scientist. Till then, he loves our shastras, our Indian culture, and he was the former director of that School of Chemistry in Andhra University. But you are the students of shastras, you are the students of our Indian culture. But you see how the scientists, they are giving us utmost respect, and their talk is the certificate. He told that you are the fortune, you are those students among all the students of our country. Those, because of you are the great, that's why you are studying here. So this is the certificate. Our certificate from the examination section is that their speech is their confidence, their blessing is the certificate. Okay, so such a great scholar we had him, that we are really thankful to you, sir. Now we are going to listen Mr. Admiral Rmnp ji. He was a great we can say army person, naval Indian Navy. He was the administrator of Indian Navy, and at present he is the distinguished fellow of Vivekananda International Foundation, Delhi. So I request sir kindly bless us, and his topic is role of youth in the progress and security of nation. This is most important thing, security of nation. Nowadays our country is suffering a lot, and sir will bless us, and his topic is role of youth. What is your role for the security of our nation? Admiral Rmnp ji.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you. Professor Murthy has spoken to you at length about Sanatana Dharma and the importance of culture. Though I am introduced as an administrator, I am basically a soldier. Our job is to actively and passively protect not just this nation but its value systems. Because once the value systems are destroyed, the nation will automatically be conquered. Today I will talk to you on this term national security, what they call in Hindi राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा. आप हिंदी में मोर कंफर्टेबल हैं कि इंग्लिश में? मैं कोशिश करूंगा हिंदी में, बीच बीच में इंग्लिश आ जाएगी. तो ये है कि आजकल राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा को संभालने के लिए पूरा देश ही इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है. वो जमाना गया कि जबकि राजा के पास इतने सैनिक थे, वो लड़ते थे, उसके लिए वो सब होता था. पर आज के दिन वो नहीं है। आज के दिन इट्स ए होल ऑफ नेशन एफर्ट टू सस्टेन नेशनल सिक्योरिटी। एवरीबडी हैज टू प्ले हिज पार्ट। सबको अपना अपना दायित्व पूरा करना है। नेशनल सिक्योरिटी डिपेंड्स ऑन द कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नेशनल पावर। मतलब कि देश की पूरी पावर हर एक स्फीयर में अगर जो आप काउंट करोगे, इकोनॉमी में, एजुकेशन में, उसके व्हाट वी कॉल एनर्जी सिस्टम्स में, उसके एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम में, ये सब जरूरी है नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए। आज के दिन फौज की जरूरत तो है ही, आपकी डिप्लोमेसी की भी जरूरत है। पर फर्ज करो देश में ऐसी व्यवस्था हो, कोई साइबर अटैक से बिजली चले जाए, फिर क्या होगा? तो साइबर सिक्योरिटी भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाती है। तो ये सबको प्रिजर्व करने के लिए आज पूरे सिटीजनरी को समझने की जरूरत है कि व्हाट इज देयर ड्यूटी टुवर्ड्स नेशनल सिक्योरिटी ऑल्सो। अपना घर तो सभी को चलाना है, परंतु उसके ऊपर भी देखना है कि हमारा कर्तव्य क्या बनता है देश की सुरक्षा की तरफ। और जिस भी स्फीयर में हो, आपकी जरूरत है। और कल्चर को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए तो बहुत ही जरूरत है। आपने सुना होगा जब ये कोल्ड वॉर पूरी खत्म हुई, जब रशिया को बिल्कुल इन्होंने एक तरीके से तोड़ दिया, उसमें भी उनके सिस्टम्स पे बहुत बड़ा युद्ध हुआ था। और वो जो लड़ाई हुई थी वो फिजिकल लड़ाई नहीं थी, उसमें पूरा मीडिया यूज किया गया, वर्ल्ड न्यूज, धार्मिक लोगों को लगाया गया, पोलैंड में क्या हुआ, हमें ये सब देखेंगे आप तो आजकल एक कंट्री को दूसरे कंट्री के में अपना हक जमाने के लिए जरूरी नहीं है कि वो फौज को इस्तेमाल करेगा, सब कुछ कर सकता है। और हमें इसका ख्याल होना चाहिए। बेसिकली ये जो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव नेशनल पावर है, जिसमें आर्म्ड फोर्सेस, डिप्लोमेसी, मैंने बाकी चीजें कही, इसको एक्सरसाइज कैसे किया जाता है? आई मीन ये चीजें ज्यादातर एक्सरसाइज 4 मेथड से होती हैं। एक तो है मिलिट्री और डिप्लोमेसी इकट्ठा काम करते हैं। कई जगह मिलिट्री को आगे कर दिया जाता है और डिप्लोमेसी पीछे रहती है, और कई जगह डिप्लोमेसी आगे हो जाती है और फौज उसको सपोर्ट करती है। अब जैसे टर्की में भूकंप आया, ठीक है, हमने वहां मदद भेजी, एज ए एफर्ट वी हैव डन इट, बट देयर इज ऑलवेज ए डिप्लोमेटिक सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट बिहाइंड इट। जब हम कहते हैं ना, वी आर हियर टू पार्टनर विद यू, टू प्रमोट यू, कोई किसी को पार्टनर नहीं करता, कोई किसी को प्रमोट नहीं करता, वो अपना सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट देखता है। और देयर आर नो परमानेंट फ्रेंड्स एंड देयर आर नो परमानेंट एनिमीज। कोई आपका बिल्कुल फ्रेंड नहीं है और कोई आपका बिल्कुल दुश्मन भी नहीं है। द ओनली थिंग परमानेंट इज योर इंटरेस्ट। मेरे खुद का इंटरेस्ट इज परमानेंट। और इसमें मैं जब कह रहा था कि ये सोवियत यूनियन को जब इन्होंने तोड़ दिया, तो हटिंगटन ने एक थीसिस पब्लिश किया था कि कहता फ्यूचर में क्लैश जो होगा वो क्लैश ऑफ सिविलाइजेशंस होगा। मतलब एक सिविलाइजेशन दूसरे को कॉन्कर करने की कोशिश करेगी, फिजिकली चाहे कॉन्कर ना करें, पर आपके माइंड को पकड़ लेंगे, जिससे आपकी इकोनॉमी को ले जाएंगे। तो दूसरा इसमें है, इकोनॉमिक वॉर चलती है। वो कई तरीकों से चलती है, मल्टीलैटरल इंस्टीट्यूशंस के थ्रू चलती है, और हम इसके शिकार हो चुके हैं। अगर जो आपकी लीडरशिप अपना इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं समझेगी पूरी तरह से और किसी नोबेल पीस प्राइज के पीछे पहुंच जाएगी, तो फिर अपना इंटरेस्ट खो देगी। और ये खोया गया है 1947 में, जब हमने कश्मीर प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कर ली अपने लिए। ये खोया गया है उसी जमाने में जबकि हमने तिब्बत को रिकॉग्निशन दे दी। हमारा कोई मतलब नहीं था चाइना के साथ बॉर्डर रखने का, हमारा बॉर्डर तिब्बत के साथ था। क्या जरूरत पड़ी थी हमको उनको रिकॉग्नाइज करने के लिए? आज पूरा बॉर्डर हमारा लाइव हो गया है। तो ऐसी गलतियां जब लीडरशिप कर देती है तो फिर भुगतना उसको पूरे देश को पड़ता है, और बहुत लंबे टाइम के लिए भुगतना पड़ता है। स्ट्रेटेजिक मिस्टेक्स कैन ओनली बी करेक्टेड इन स्ट्रेटेजिक टाइम्स। हम लड़ाई कर रहे हों, एक पलटन दूसरे पलटन से थोड़ा सा जमीन इधर से उधर हो जाए, वो रिकवर हो जाती है। हाँ, उसमें भी खून लगता है, पर दैट कैन बी करेक्टेड। स्मॉल मिस्टेक्स कैन बी करेक्टेड, बट ये जो नेशनल लेवल स्ट्रेटेजिक ब्लंडर्स हो जाते हैं ना, ये फिर करेक्ट करने बड़े मुश्किल होते हैं। और आजकल ये स्ट्रेटेजिक ब्लंडर्स ज्यादा होते हैं, एक तो डिप्लोमेसी के थ्रू, जबकि आपको प्रेशराइज किया जाता है, या बड़े स्वीट लफ्जों से प्रेशराइज कर देते हैं। जैसे कि अब 1971 वॉर तो हम जीत गए थे, बांग्लादेश बना दिया था, ठीक है ना, परंतु सीज फायर के बाद क्या हुआ? सीज फायर के बाद हमारे पास 93,000 सोल्जर्स यहाँ पे थे। फॉरेन ऑफिस ने इंदिरा गांधी जी को बड़ा क्लियर कट ब्रीफ दिया था कि ये सोल्जर अगर हमने वापस कर रहे हैं तो ये कश्मीर की एग्रीमेंट, ये एग्रीमेंट बता दिया, इनको बोलो ये साइन कर दें, फिर हम कर देंगे। परंतु हुआ क्या उस कॉन्फ्रेंस में? 2 दिन के बाद जब भुट्टो जी को ये समझा दिया गया कि यही करना पड़ेगा आपको, वो इंदिरा गांधी के पैर पे पड़ गया था। ये खबर मेरे को मेरे कोलीग्स हैं जो कि फॉरेन सर्विस में हैं, उनसे पता लग जाता है, हम उस जमाने के हैं। और रो पड़ा लिटरली कि भाई मैं अपने देश में जाके अपना मुंह कैसे दिखाऊंगा, मेरे को तो मार देंगे। इंदिरा गांधी को दया आ गई, 93,000 सोल्जर्स वापस कर दिए, ना कश्मीर सॉल्व किया। हमारे वहां पे कोई 2 डजन सोल्जर्स उनके प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर थे, ज्यादा नहीं थे, उनको वापस भी नहीं लिया, कई उनमें से आज भी वहीं हैं। तो ऐसी लीडरशिप से हमें बचना पड़ेगा। और इसमें भी आज सिटीजनरी को ये देखना है, इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन फैलाई जाती है, कुछ फेक होती है, कुछ ठीक होती है, उसमें खुद को समझना है कि कौन सा लीडर मेरा देश के हित में काम करेगा, कौन सा लीडर मेरी सभ्यता के लिए काम करेगा, हमारी कल्चर को प्रोटेक्ट करेगा। बाकी आपको जो बंटवारे की बात होती है, इस कम्युनिटी को बढ़ा दो, उस कम्युनिटी को बढ़ा दो, इसको ये कर दो, वो कर दो, उस सब के आपको यू हैव टू सी थ्रू ऑल दैट नॉनसेंस। आपको टेम्पररी फायदा शायद होता होगा, पर लॉन्ग टर्म में वो भी नहीं होता। मैं तुमको फ्री बिजली दे दूंगा, कोई कहता फ्री पानी दे दूंगा, ये कर, पर आप अपनी इकोनॉमी के लिए क्या कर रहे हो? उसका भुगतान कौन करेगा? आपके बच्चे करेंगे। जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा कि फ्यूल प्राइसेस, आई थिंक इन द इयर्स अबाउट 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, फ्यूल प्राइसेस सडनली बढ़नी शुरू हुई तो गवर्नमेंट ने आरबीआई को बॉन्ड देके वो प्राइसेस कम रखी। विद द रिजल्ट जब ये 2014 में सरकार आई तो उनके ऊपर 3.5 लाख करोड़ के बॉन्ड सिर पे पड़े थे, जिनका भुगतान विद इंटरेस्ट उस सरकार को करना पड़ा। तो फ्री लंच तो किसी को नहीं मिलता। कोई किसी को कहता मैं तुम्हें दे दूंगा, कोई किसी को कुछ नहीं देता। उस टाइम हमें समझ में नहीं आता, बड़े खुश होते हैं जी सस्ता पेट्रोल मिल रहा है, नहीं तो फिर हालत वो जो पाकिस्तान की आज है ना वो हो जाएगी किसी दिन, जो श्रीलंका की है। ऑल दिस इज पार्ट ऑफ योर सिक्योरिटी सिस्टम। अल्टीमेटली इट इफेक्ट्स द नेशनल सिक्योरिटी। अगर जो आपकी इकोनॉमी फट हो गई तो फिर बाकी क्या रहेगा? आपकी फौज होगी तो उसको सपोर्ट कौन करेगा? और दुनिया बड़ी, जो कहते हैं ना, दे आर वेरी, in international relations everybody is insensitive to everything but his own self interest. He is totally insensitive to everything. वो बातें बहुत अच्छी करेंगे, वर्ल्ड पीस, ह्यूमन राइट्स, हमको ह्यूमन राइट सिखाने आए हैं, ये सब बातें होंगी, पर बीच में उसका सिर्फ सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट है। अब जैसे अभी जॉर्ज सोरोस कह रहा है वी विल हैव रियल डेमोक्रेसी इन इंडिया। अरे तू कौन होता तुम कहने वाला है यहाँ पे डेमोक्रेसी होगी? उसका डेमोक्रेसी का मतलब है ऐसे चोर यहाँ होंगे जो मेरे को जो हुआ है यहाँ पे। तो ये है, इकोनॉमिक वॉरफेयर भी चलता रहता है, मिलिट्री और डिप्लोमेसी तो चलती ही है, साथ में इंफॉर्मेशन वॉरफेयर चलता है आजकल। इट्स ए कंटिन्यूअस वॉरफेयर। जो आप मीडिया में देखते हो, जो यूट्यूब में देखते हो, आदि न्यूज फेसबुक पे देखते हो, सोच समझ के देखो, बिकॉज द एम ऑफ द अदर पार्टी इज टू थोपो हिज कल्चरल सिस्टम ऑन यू, एंड वंस ही इज अचीव्ड दैट the rest will follow. ठीक है ना? There is, ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत आजकल, हमारे वेदा थे, हमने क्यों उनके ऊपर इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी लगाई थी क्या? नॉलेज जो, I don't know what professor will say, but we only discover what is there in nature. And nature तो भगवान ने बनाई है भैया। आपने उसमें से कुछ डिस्कवरी कर ली तो आपकी इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी बन गई। भगवान को ही गाली दे रहे हो। जो भी आप चाहे, जो आइंस्टाइन ने डिस्कवर किया, किसी ने कुछ डिस्कवर किया, व्हाट डिड ही अप्लाई? बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ नेचर। उसने एक्सपेरिमेंट जो की है वो तो बिल्ली कुत्तों पे की है, जो मेडिसिन बन गई। अब ये कोविड आया था, उसमें भी जनता पैसे बनाने में लगी हुई थी। फाइजर की आप हिस्ट्री आप पढ़िए, ये तो यहाँ की सरकार थी, बहुत अच्छी थी, जिसने कहा थैंक यू वेरी मच, आप अमेरिका में रहिए, हम आपकी कंडीशंस पे नहीं लेंगे। आप इमेजिन करिए अगर जो $5 का एक डोज देना पड़ता हमको 2 करोड़ अपने पॉपुलेशन में, तो क्या हाल होता है यहाँ पे। सो यू नीड वेरी गुड एंड वेरी nationalistic leadership which thinks about its nation. And you don't need any leadership which is trying for Nobel Peace Prize. वो नोबेल पीस प्राइज की भी स्टोरी होती है, ओके? वो ऐसे ही नहीं दिया जाता। वो अमृता सेन को मिल जाएगा नोबेल प्राइज. क्यों? ही हेल्प्ड डिस्ट्रॉय इंडियन कल्चर. सो ही इज, वो उसको नोबेल पीस प्राइज जरूर मिलेगा. ओके. सो देयर इज इंफॉर्मेशन वॉरफेयर, मीडिया वॉरफेयर, and there is a war for human resources today. You are the best brains in this world. I have no doubt in my mind. हमारे कोई डाउट नहीं है. पूरे दुनिया का आईटी सिस्टम हमारे दिमाग से चलता है. एल्गोरिथम हम लिखते हैं, पर किसके लिए लिखते हैं? जीई कॉरपोरेशन के लिए. ठीक है ना? इन्फोसिस भी काम करता है तो किसके लिए करता है? ही सपोर्ट्स वेरी फ्यू इंडियन प्रोडक्ट्स ओवर हियर. उसको अमेरिका उस पैसा कमाता है. ठीक है, मैं नहीं कह रहा कि ये नहीं होना चाहिए, नहीं तो पैसे भी नहीं होंगे इस देश में. पर द रियल power to the nation comes if you hold your own products, and in this time we hold intellectual property over things. क्योंकि अब दुनिया ऐसी बन गई है, कोई फ्री, चाहे वो नेचर से ले रहा है पर बेचता वो अपना नाम लगा के है उस पे, at 20 times the price or even 100 times the price. और कहीं युद्ध हो जाए तो फिर तो आपको कहूँ मैं, मोदी जी आए तो उन्होंने, हम तो फौज में रह के, मैं तो जब से आया था, मेरा फादर, गॉड ब्लेस हिम, ही वाज ए नेशनलिस्ट ऑफ द भगत सिंह कैरेक्टर. तो उसने तो हमें बचपन में, हमारे घर में हम एक फॉरेन ब्लेड नहीं लेके आ सकते थे. यू वोंट अलाउ अस टू टेक अ फॉरेन ब्लेड. जबकि माहौल ऐसा क्रिएट हो गया था इस कंट्री में कि जब तक इंपोर्टेड, ये इंपोर्टेड चीज है तो जरूर ठीक होगी, ये माहौल था. पर आत्मनिर्भरता के बिना नेशनल सिक्योरिटी भी संभालना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. और पॉलिटिकली देखा जाए, फुल क्रेडिट टू मोदी जी कि उन्होंने ये नेशनल स्लोगन बना दिया. फुल क्रेडिट टू हिम. नहीं तो हमने जैसे टेलीकम्युनिकेशन वगैरह में एग्रीमेंट साइन किए हैं, और मैं तो इसमें पर्सनली इन्वॉल्व था एक टाइम पे, जहां मैंने सरकार को लिख के दे दिया था, आप ये पॉलिसी बना दीजिए, ना तो इस देश में साइबर सिक्योरिटी होगी और हमारी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इंडस्ट्री मर जाएगी. और दिस नोट वाज गिवन एट द लेवल ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया टू हिज पर्सनल, टू हिज सेक्रेटरी. पर फिर भी किया उन्होंने. और आज स्टेट ये है कि साइबर सिक्योरिटी हमारी डेंजर में है. आप देखते होंगे ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट मेडिकल साइंसेस के 2 हफ्ते के लिए वो उनके पास मैन्युअली सब कुछ करना पड़ता था क्योंकि उनके सिस्टम पूरे बंद हो गए थे. महाराष्ट्र स्टेट में बिजली बंद हो गई थी. सो साइबर टुडे इज अनदर एस्पेक्ट ऑफ वॉरफेयर. तो ये मैं कह रहा था, दिस वॉरफेयर टुडे हैज टेकन मेनी फैसेट्स, एंड इसमें मैं यही कहता हूं कि ब्रेन पावर हमारी है और हमारी भी हमारे अगेंस्ट ही यूज किए जा रही है, क्योंकि वो हमको 2 लाख रुपया 3 लाख रुपया शायद ज्यादा दे देते हैं साल के, तो हम सब उधर भागते हैं. Money has a value for something, but money is not all that makes life, nor a human being. So, ये सब चीजें कहने का मेरा मतलब यही था कि you have to be cautious today, be very understanding of your duty to the nation, of your duty to protect, bring up the right leadership in the nation. तो हम लोग ही वोट करके इन लोगों को लाते हैं ना। कोई कहता जी मैं तुम्हारी कास्ट को इतना रिजर्वेशन दे दूंगा तो उसको वोट दे दो। द ब्रिटिश डिवाइडेड अस, पर आज हमने कितनी और डिवीजन क्रिएट कर ली हैं भैया। जरूरी है ये? एंड इट इज ऑल बिकॉज वी हैव फॉरगॉटन दैट वी कम फ्रॉम अ कॉमन कल्चर। व्हाट यूनाइट्स इंडिया is neither the political system nor the constitution of India. What unites India is our culture, Sanatana Dharma, which Professor talked about. That is the only factor that is uniting this country, and it has united this country for millions of millennia. चाणक्य कहता था यहाँ पे 1569 kingdoms हैं, but India is one. Why? Because the culture was the same. आप अपने त्योहार देख लो, कोई किसी को पोंगल बुलाएगा तो कोई किसी को बिहू बुलाएगा, पर they occur at the same time. We follow the same. So my point is that what unites us is our culture. And an attack on the culture will disunite us. And we have to fight for it. मैंने कहा था ना मैं तो सोल्जर हूँ। I don't believe, I do say, and when I say when we have to fight for it, we have to be first convinced of what we are saying. And I am very happy to be in an institution here where you are teaching and learning the sinews of this culture. What makes this culture? You are making it. You are understanding it. And it is your work now to spread it in the country in the manner that the country will understand. I do not know how to do it. But आपको सोचना पड़ेगा. आप जब थीसिस लिखते हैं ना, तो ये चीज सोचिए कि इसको हम हिंदुस्तान में बाकी लोगों को कैसे समझाएंगे. My final point on culture itself. I talked to you, there would be what you call clash of civilizations. What does China do? Everything he does, he says it is with Chinese characteristic. Everything, चाहे वो कोई इंफॉर्मेशन की चीज हो, चाहे वो कोई मशीनरी बना रहा हो, जो भी, everything that he is doing is with Chinese characteristics. Are we proud to say this is with Indian characteristics? आज मैं अपनी कल्चर पे ही कुछ पढ़ूं तो उसमें जो बुक में रेफरेंसेस होंगी ना, वो फ्रेडवे पता नहीं किस किस की होंगी. अपने बंदे कहाँ गए भाई? आप लोग कहाँ हैं? Why don't we refer to ourselves? मैं जब रशिया में पढ़ता था तो वहाँ पे कोई हमको जब पढ़ाया गया था वायरलेस, हम उस दिनों में जानते थे कि जी मार्कोनी ने इन्वेंट किया था, पर रशियन नहीं मानेगा ये. वो पढ़ाते हुए कहेगा पोपोव डेवलप्ड दिस. उसके पास उसके अपने साइंटिस्ट हर एक चीज के लिए थे, है कि नहीं? तो हमारे पास हो या ना हो, हमको क्रिएट करने पड़ेंगे अपने लोगों के लिए. अब योगा भी वो लोग पता नहीं कितने किस्म के योगा निकाल दिए हैं. Bikram yoga, this yoga, that yoga. The aim is to appropriate our knowledge and call it their own. You will see this in many areas where knowledge taken from our Vedas, taken from our ancient culture, has been appropriated by this Englishman as his own. और not only that, वो कहता है कि the East borrowed it from us. वो तो था नहीं भाई तू जब ये नॉलेज बनी थी. Even Padmanabhan temple in Kerala is 50 BC, before Christ was born. Isn't it? ये लोग तो थे नहीं. So you have to discover this knowledge and pass it on to this country and the world as your knowledge. भगवान ने वो आपको दी है. So there has been an attempt to divide this country, and this country was divided very intelligently. It was not divided. आपने कभी सरस्वती रिवर सुना है? What was it called by the British? The mythological river of India. Mythological क्या होता है? Myth. Ramayana and Mahabharata are mythological Indian mythology. आज भी आप देखेंगे कई न्यूज़पेपर वगैरह में talk on Indian mythology. What is this meaning of this word mythology? Mythology means myth. My Guruji used to say, there is no mythology in India. It is all history. Only history is not taught to us. Isn't it? हमें कौन पढ़ा रहा है history? So, these are the things that were used to destroy our own faith in ourselves. Everything that we know of became mythology. Net result, what Professor also told about Macaulay, his destruction of 252, because he wrote back to the British Parliament that the moral value systems in this land, in Bharat, are so high that it is impossible to rule them without destroying their faith in themselves. And this is precisely what he did. And his method of destroying that faith was to destroy our education system and bring English, through which he wrote this. We would be perfect human beings to serve their masters in England. तो हमें अच्छे क्लर्क बना दिया. IAS जो ICS बना दिया, perfect servants to, वो लिखते थे your obedient servant करके उनकी चिट्ठी आया करती थी जब मैं छोटा, when I joined service. Your obedient servant. Yeah. Okay. So this is what they created for us. Your obedient servant. They created this whole north-south divide for which we are paying even today by saying Saraswati civilization is the mythological river of India. So, जो नॉर्थ में रहते हैं वो सेंट्रल एशिया से आए हैं. They connected Mohenjo-daro and Harappa to Central Asia. They came in hordes and drove the southerns to the south. Whereas our history is, we lived very comfortably with each other. Even, I mean, if you see our languages, Sanskrit देखिए, काका काका हरि की language में है, except perhaps in Tamil. Every other language is kaka kaka. Has any other nation got such a beautiful way? It is this kaka kaka being common that enables us through computer software to write in Hindi but speak in, to write in Hindi and speak and convey to another person a meaning in Bengali. I can write Bengali in वो हिंदी में मैं लिख लूँगा उसको जो बोलता है. Somebody can write that speech for me and I will be speaking Bengali to you. It can't happen in any other place in the world. So this was the thing. There was Sanskrit here. So Sanskrit was destroyed. A very unifying language. And I'm glad I am in a Sanskrit university which promotes this unifying language. I wish the numbers here were not 1,200, but there were 4,500 people over here. We need many more such universities which will propagate Sanskrit into the rest of the country. That should be our national language. In my view, it will kill all this north-south business. Sanskrit should be our national language. Although my parents' fault or whatever, I have learnt only in English, but that is, this realization comes to one towards the sunset of one's life. But this is what we need. Sanskrit. Basis on which they have created this north-south divide in this country. So they encouraged, I mean, after all, if you read Thiruvalur and Manusmriti, you must have read here. So many common verses, word for word they are common, isn't it? Then, where is this? We are all part of the same DNA, same culture. Whether you are from Tamil Nadu or this thing, yes, Tamil is an older language. Sanskrit and Tamil grown together, they are borrowed from each other, they lived very peacefully. But what did we do? So, I mean, I could go on this subject for a very long time, whether it is North-South divide or Hindu-Muslim divide or Hindu-Sikh divide. All this has been created by the British to create fault lines in this country with which we are even grappling today. Because the politics of this country has grown that way. So, I will conclude now. Basically, I would like to quote a few things from what my Guruji mentioned to me. Pandit Shivanand Murthy, who is from Bimlipatam and Warangal, as Professor said. He says the history of India is not the story of dynasties, but the chronicle of the glorious lives of our great rishis. We can all trace back our roots to our rishis. आपका गोत्रा और क्या है? You trace back your origin to your rishi. Am I right? The Indian meaning for civilization is different. It means a great concern for the other man, not maximizing my profit at the cost of everybody else. We live in that world today. To a certain extent, we have to do it to make sure that we survive. And not only survive, and then we change the world. Just see a response to what has happened in Turkey. Although Turkey has not been favorable to us at all. But we are the first people to send up help in. Same thing in Nepal. But in international relations, nobody is grateful to anybody for anything. But it is our civilization and cultural value that we practice, and it is a good thing to do. So today, Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma in India is standing like the Draupadi in the court of the blind. When she was being insulted, every one of them was laughing at it and enjoying it. Today anybody can insult us. Nobody says a word about it. We have to think about these things, and you and I have a vital role to play to correct this. We are no more going to accept it. Now, do you know, he says that, do you know the reason for threat to this country? Hatred of our culture. That is the main reason. We have not harmed anybody. We have not touched even anyone's little finger. We have not sent criminals across the border into any other country like our good neighbor, both China and Pakistan do. A hatred that is flowing in blood and hatred of our culture is responsible for our enemies coming across the border into our country. Because they are able to make us hate ourselves also. We have to correct that. Remember, India has to be protected, not just for its boundaries, that is what I said, but for its culture. Because as long as our culture is protected, the boundaries will remain protected. The loss of which will be a loss to the entire humanity. It is the individual's responsibility to understand the glory of our heritage and practice our culture. Every citizen should realize that his well-being is linked to the welfare of his country. It is therefore his duty to lead his life responsibly, pray and work for the country. You must take pride that you are born in this country, as Professor said. Live within the framework of dharma. Live gently and live smoothly. And here I would like to define dharma as my Guruji defined it to me. He said dharma is very easy to follow. It is appropriate action at the appropriate time. At times, to kill is dharma. At times, to protect is dharma. Most of the time, to tell the truth is dharma. But sometimes, even to hide the truth is dharma. So what is appropriate action at that particular point in time is dharma. It can apply universally. But people have turned it around us that this has become a religious, because they don't understand. And we also ourselves don't understand. I didn't understand it till my Guruji told me. I used to wonder, what is this dharma? Is dharma duty? It is not duty. Because it varies from person to person, from time to time, and it's very difficult to make one definition. There will be no English definition for dharma. And we have to understand what greatness must be there in our rishis who coined this word Sanatan Dharma. This is an everlasting truth. Right? So take pride that you are born in this country. Right? Live within the framework of dharma. Live gently, and live very smoothly. Okay? What we are fighting for is moral secularism. This business of political secularism we are not fighting for. We want moral secularism. Secularism is a quality of the heart, that you respect the other person. And only where I have found this formulation is in Gita. Unfortunately, I have not gone into Upanishads and ज़्यादा मैं पढ़ा नहीं हूँ. पर गीता में मैंने जो पढ़ा है कि all religions are on the circumference of a circle. All beliefs are on the circumference of a circle. Everyone is trying to tell you a road to salvation in his own method. We respect all paths. But we are the only people who respect all paths. There is not a country in the world which respects all paths. Someone will say, if you don't follow my faith, you are a sinner. So I must convert you. Only we say, you are God. There is God in you. हम ही कहते हैं ना, और कोई कहता है? There are others who say, if you don't follow my path, I must kill you. It is there, nahi? So this is the difference between Brahmanic and Abrahamic thought. We must believe that we are from a far more nobler thought, a thought that is everlasting and truthful. We don't hate anybody, but at the same time, I do believe waging war is part of our dharma only. Where our dharma is threatened, where it becomes necessary, it is the last resort, But if you have to fight, we have to fight. Like Mahabharata took place after every other option was exhausted, then Mahabharata took place. It was, but we will fight a righteous war, a moral war, in which, and if God wishes us to fight for that war, I am sure He will give us also the strength to do so. So God bless all of you. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सर। हमने एडमिरल रमणपुरी महोदय के जो वाक्य हमने सुने, उनका जो भाषण, ये उनका भाषण का ये जो सार है, यही है कि देश को सुरक्षा करने के लिए हमने हमारा संस्कृति को पहले सुरक्षा करना चाहिए। अगर संस्कृति को हम सुरक्षा करेंगे तो देश स्वतः सुरक्षित हो जाएगा। यही है उनका भाषण का सार। और ये संस्कृति सुरक्षा करने का जो जिम्मेदारी, ये हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के छात्रों के ऊपर ज़्यादा है। यही है उनका भाषण का सार कि आपके ऊपर जो जिम्मेदारियां हैं, आपके ऊपर जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ है, वो हमारा देश को सुरक्षा करने के लिए बहुत मतलब उसका अग्राधिकार है। तो इसीलिए आप सब इसके ऊपर ध्यान दीजिए, संस्कृति को सुरक्षा कीजिए और हमारा देश को भी सुरक्षा कीजिए। ये संकल्प लेना चाहिए हम। यही इस हार का एडवाइस है और उनका उपदेश है। हम आभार प्रकट करते हैं सर, आपने बहुत अच्छा संदेश हमको दिए और इसीलिए हम चिर आभारी है। अभी हमने हमारा अध्यक्ष माननीय कुलपति जी प्रोफेसर GS आर कृष्णमूर्ति महोदय जी को हम विनम्र निवेदन करते हैं, आप हमको आशीर्वाद दीजिए।
सद्गुरु श्री शिवानंद मूर्ति चरणारविंदाभ्यां नमः। शिवानंद मूर्ति जी एक ऐसी विभूति हैं, उनका साक्षात हमें देखने का भाग्य मिला। यहाँ भी पधारे थे और उनका इतना जो हमने महामहोपाध्याय से उनको विभूषित किया और उनका ये माने अपना जो चिंतन है, मनन है, जो कुछ है, सारा जो देश की रक्षा जो युवता में है, इसकी रक्षा करने के लिए अच्छा उपदेश दिए। अब दोनों भीमिली, जो भीमिलीपट्टनम है, भीमिली है, वो भीमिलीपट्टनम के पास है, छोटा सा गांव है, वहाँ से वो आए और पुलिस में उन्होंने सेवा की। उसके बाद माने इसमें आध्यात्म चिंतन में और सदुपदेश में उन्होंने अपना जीवन बिताया और उनके शिष्य हैं साक्षात हमारे जो रमणपुरी जी हैं। और उन्होंने अभी जितने जो ग्रंथ अभी रेफरेंस के रूप में दिया, वह सारे उन्हीं के हैं और उनका किताब हमें पढ़ना चाहिए। हमारे विश्वविद्यालय में भी बहुत कुछ है। उससे हमारी जो है, जैसे आत्मनिर्भरता के बारे में सोचते हैं, वो आत्मनिर्भरता यहाँ हमारे ऊपर है। वो इसी के बारे में हमारे तद्विधि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया, वो इनकी वृद्ध सेवा तो बहुत ही हमारे भाग्य है। ऐसे जो ज्ञानवृद्ध वयोवृद्ध उनकी सेवा करनी है। हमारे GS मूर्ति जी का इतना जो भांडार वो है, अपने कल्चर के ऊपर उन्होंने अपना जो माने एक साइंटिस्ट होने के बावजूद अपने सनातन धर्म के प्रति उनकी श्रद्धा खुद कह रहे हैं। और कई जो विदेशियों ने भी कहा, अभी पुरी साहब ने कहा कि जैसे मैक्समुलर आ करके इतना यहाँ रम के जम के रम के फिर हम माने भारतीय नहीं हो पाए। अपना जो है जो वक्तव्य आपने जिक्र किया, क्योंकि उनको भेजा है कि ये सारे भारतीय जो इतिहास है या पुरातन धारा है, उसको नष्ट करने के लिए भेजा, डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए भेजा, सारे ओरिएंटल स्टडीज़ को नष्ट करने के लिए भेजा। तो यहाँ आ करके हमने थोड़ा अंश हमने समझा, अगर हमें भारतीय हो जाऊँ तो बहुत अच्छा होता। हमसे ये भाग्यवान है, लेकिन खुद लिखा इस तरह का जो है हम चाहते हैं। क्योंकि हमारा जो जितना है ऋग्वेद जितना देखिए, आपका जो ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ द नेचर, माने केवल उसकी प्रकृति का जो है माने साक्षात्कार किया, अग्नि सूक्त हो, मधु सूक्त हो, वृष सूक्त हो, इसमें प्रकृति ही प्रकृति है। उसमें जितने धर्म है, माने जैसे कहते हैं कि आयुर्दा अग्नि हविषा श्रवणो जातवेदा। जातवेदा माने जितने जो जन्म लिए हैं उनको जानने वाला। माने आग के बिना कुछ नहीं चल सकता, जठराग्नि के बिना कुछ नहीं चल सकता, और जठराग्नि ज़्यादा हो जाए तो बड़ा अनर्थ हो जाएगा। उसका ऐसा जो है लिमिट में करके वो अपना जो टेम्परेचर उसका रखने वाला है वो आयुर्दा है। माने इस तरह का जो है एक एक हम समझेंगे तो अपने पूर्वजों ने जो कुछ हमें माने धरोहर दिया उसकी रक्षा करनी चाहिए, यही आपका वक्तव्य है। माने इसका जो है जैसे अच्छे काम के लिए जितना प्रचार नहीं होना चाहिए। माने प्रोफेसर जी.एस. मूर्ति जी ने हम माने यूथ फॉर नेशन के बारे में हम कुछ आपके छात्रों से और युवा लोगों से मिलना चाहते हैं। मैंने कहा कि ज़रूर आप आ जाइए। उसके बाद रमणपुरी जी भी आ जाएंगे, ज़रूर आपका स्वागत है। फिर अचानक दोनों जो है समय दिए तो हमने इन माने युवा जो है माने शिवराम भट्ट जी और भरतभूषण जी से कहा, अभी जितने लोग बैठे हैं ये सारे हजारों के प्रतिनिधि है। आपका उसी का जिक्र कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये सब कुछ यहाँ चल रहा है, ये तो हमारे छात्र सभी देख रहे हैं। मैंने अभी परीक्षा है, परीक्षा होने के नाते जो अध्यापक भी जो है कार्यरत हैं और उसके बाद छात्र भी है, उसके मौका मिल जाए तो हमारा ये जो माने रिकॉर्ड माने स्थायी हो जाएगा, शाश्वत होगा। ये भरत ने कहा। हम भी ऐसे ही करते हैं कि आज का जो कार्यक्रम है उस कार्यक्रम का क्या तथ्य है उसका सार हम ग्रहण करते हैं और पूरे भारत में जाता है। हमारे जो नेशनल संस्कृत यूनिवर्सिटी का जो वो है मैं सोशल मीडिया से जाता है। माने हमें इसमें कोई वो नहीं है कि इतनी संख्या है उतनी संख्या है, उसका कोई वो नहीं। हम जो करते हैं ठोस करते हैं, जो ठोस करते हैं तो हमारा जो माने अच्छे भला हो जाता है, सभी लोगों ने ग्रहण करता है कि लोग ग्रहण करते हैं। यही जो है हमारा वक्तव्य है। माने जी.एस. मूर्ति जी और पुरी साहब आ गए। आने के बाद अपना इतना उन्होंने किया, जैसे आपने कहा कि हमारे आत्मनिर्भरता और देश की रक्षा युवता में है, संस्कृति में है, संस्कृति की रक्षा करनी चाहिए। कल तो आपने ऐसा जिक्र किया कि जो ऐसे स्नेक्स इन दी गंगा, वो राजीव मल्होत्रा की बात भी कहे। और आज भी इस तरह का जो है कई जो अपने अंत जो दुश्मन है हमारे अंदर में यही है और दूसरे जगह नहीं है। हमें जो टूट फूट करने के लिए पुराने ज़माने में जो कुछ किया वो भी अभी कर रहे हैं। अभी संप्रदाय स्कूल के बारे में जिक्र कर रहे थे जी.एस. मूर्ति जी। वो अरविंद श्रीनिवासन सुवर्णा ये इन्होंने चलाया। वो माने विलायत में अपना जो नौकरी छोड़ करके यहाँ करके अपने जो यूथ फॉर नेशन के बारे में ये कह रहे थे, उनको भी हम बुलाएंगे, मैंने आपसे मुलाकात करवाएंगे, क्योंकि हमारा यही वो अभी बीज रक्षण करना चाहिए। उस बीज से मटवृक्ष हो जाएगा, मटवृक्ष हो जाएगा तो हमारा जो पूरा छाया मिल जाएगी, उस छाया में हम आनंद ले सकते हैं। यही जगत गुरु की भावना है, यही शिवानंद मूर्ति गुरु जी की भावना है। इन्हीं गुरु भावना को हम माने आत्मसात करते हुए हम सभी आगे चलेंगे। संगच्छध्वम संवदध्वम संभव मनाम से जानत।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। जैसे सर ने बताया कि हम सब वोट करेंगे और ऐसे नेता को चुनेंगे जो संस्कृति को सुरक्षा कर सकते हैं और देश को सुरक्षा कर सकते हैं। और अभी हमने हमारा माननीय कुलपति जी को निवेदन करते हैं दोनों विभूतियों जो हमारे पास आज हैं उनको सम्मानित करें। जैसे पहले प्रोफेसर जी.एस. मूर्ति जी जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छा हमको एक उन्होंने लेक्चर दिए और उनका समय विषय था नो योर कल्चर टू सेव योर फ्यूचर। आई रिक्वेस्ट आवर ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर टू फेलिसिटेट प्रोफेसर जी.एस. मूर्ति। Now I request our Vice Chancellor kindly felicitate Admiral Rमणप ji. I request Professor G.S. Murthy and Admiral Rमणप ji to give a token of fruits to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, because sir is the chairman. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Shivram Bhatt ji, who is the coordinator of this session, to give the vote of thanks.
सर्वेभ्यो नमः। आचार्य विरुवेंटी मुरलीधर शर्मा महोदयानां स्मरणार्थायाम् आयोजितायाम् अस्यां व्याख्यानमालायां प्रोफेसर जी.एस. मूर्ति महोदयाः भारतस्य रक्षणम् इत्युक्ते संस्कृतेः रक्षणम्, अतः अस्माकं सर्वेषामपि तद् दायित्वमिति मार्गदर्शनं कृतवन्तः। अतः अस्य कार्यक्रमस्य पक्षतः महोदयेभ्यः नैके धन्यवादाः। एवं एडमिरल् रमणपुरी महोदयाः भारतस्य सुरक्षा अस्माकं सर्वेषां दायित्वम् इति मुख्यं विषयमधिकृत्य जागरणं कृतवन्तः। स्वकीयम् अनुभवमपि विविधेषु प्रसङ्गेषु उक्तवन्तः। अतः तेभ्यः अस्य कार्यक्रमस्य पक्षतः नैके धन्यवादाः। एवम् अस्माकं मान्याः कुलपतयः सर्वदा अस्मान् प्रेरयन्ति एतादृशं विशिष्टं कार्यक्रमं कर्तुं, यतोहि स्वस्वक्षेत्रे ज्ञानवृद्धाः मार्गदर्शकाः तैः सम्प्रार्थिताः मार्गदर्शनं कृतवन्तः। ह्यः अपि अस्माभिः अद्भुतं मार्गदर्शनं श्रुतम्, एवमेव अद्यापि तयोः मार्गदर्शनम् अस्माभिः श्रुतमस्ति। अतः तादृशम् अवसरं कल्पितवन्तः अस्माकं कुलपतयः आचार्याः जी.एस्.आर्. कृष्णमूर्तिमहाभागाः। तेभ्यः अपि विशिष्य कार्यबाहुल्ये सत्यपि एतादृशकार्यक्रमे अस्मान् प्रोत्साहयन्ति, प्रेरयन्ति। अतः तेभ्यः विशिष्य हार्दाः धन्यवादाः। एवमेव अस्मिन् कार्यक्रमे विश्वविद्यालयस्य नैकेषां विभागानाम् अध्यापकाः, विशिष्य शोधच्छात्राः ह्यः एवं अद्यापि उपस्थाय कार्यक्रमस्य आनन्दं स्वीकृतवन्तः, एवं कार्यक्रमस्य शोभाञ्च वर्धितवन्तः। अतः तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अपि शोधच्छात्रेभ्यः विशिष्य कार्यक्रमस्य पक्षतः हार्दाः धन्यवादाः। एवं सभासञ्चालनं कृतवन्तः भारतभूषणवरथमहोदयाः, तेभ्यः अपि धन्यवादाः। एवं सङ्गणकविभागस्य सहाचार्याः अचिरादेव आचार्याः अपि भविष्यन्ति। तादृशाः चन्द्रशेखरमहोदयाः अत्र उपस्थिताः। एवं ज्योतिषविभागस्य अध्यक्षाः कृष्णेश्वरझामहोदयाः, एवं नागराजमहोदयाः, राहुल् महोदयाः, एवम् अन्ये च अध्यापकाः, विशिष्य ICT विभागतः तान्त्रिकव्यवस्थां पश्यन्तः सन्ति, तेभ्यः एवं इंजिनियरिंग विभागतः अपि उपस्थिताः सन्ति। तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अपि अस्मिन् कार्यक्रमे हार्दान् धन्यवादान् वितीर्य विरमामि। विस्तरात् धन्यवादः।